What is the mindset of Nigerian people that is able to preserve a kind of government like this? And to be clear on what kind of government, this is a government that is not accountable, a government that is very nonchalant, a government that lacks emotional intelligence or empathy. I'm going to bring that in because when we talk about emotional empathy, empathy or emotional intelligence is not something that is usually associated with government, and which is actually one of the root causes of our problem. Like, it's a shame that a lot of people don't associate emotional intelligence with leadership, with government. I'm here to talk about how family dynamics and child training has affected the state of country and will continue to affect the state of country. There are two kind of people in this country. There are the oppressed and there are the oppressors. There are people that are raised like that, like they're raised like that. Either you be the oppressed or you be the oppressors. An average Nigerian family is a poor family, especially in this economy. There's nothing like average, like middle class any longer. You're poor, and most poor people are very religious and also cultural. You see them say, greet your elders, go to church, go to mosques, and all of that. And all of us know that all religion is rooted in fear, like popularly. It's now that most Christians are saying that no, it's about love and all that. But if you see the design, it's based on fear. Example, you go to hellfire. That's the ultimate example. You don't want to go to hell. That's why you do a lot of things. I don't really know much about Muslim religion, but I think they also have heaven. Yeah. Okay, I know it needs to. I know that they flop the fuck out of them in schools. I just remember that. An average Nigeria is someone that is usually used to oppression. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Either the person is the oppressed or the person is the oppressor. The oppressor are actually not so plenty because only one gender are mostly allowed to become oppressors. Yes, and it's not also all of the gender that become the oppressors too. So most women and then half of the men are like the oppressed in this country. I'm not even talking just like in government, like the federal government. I'm talking about in like basic, like other institution in the country, because those are reflections of what the government. In fact, the institution of a family is also a reflection of the government in power. Yes, it's aligned. First of all, example is male are always in power. The male are at the forefront of power. The same thing with family. Most family operates in patriarchal system. Even if the women are behind the scenes doing the work, the men are outside actually, you know, putting themselves as the leaders and the ones calling the shots and everything. And before you start saying, "Oh, I'm not used to oppression," you are used to oppression. Like you are used to. Let's think about it this way: when NEPA brings lights for 20 hours in a day, what do we all begin to say? Begin to say things like, I hope say something no spoil. I hope all is well. They should better take it now so that they'll bring it later. All of those things. Okay, let me give you a classic example. Young people, for you, the school that you go to. No, just look at the school that you go to, the university that you go to. You pay a lot of money, you give a lot of your time for a certificate, because most of you go to school for the certificate. God, this is like emotional. I'm becoming emotional. For a certificate that you are 40 or 30, 70, you're 30% sure is going to give you a job, but 70% not sure is going to give you a job, especially your dream job. But you still go. Every year, people go into the university, they want to get a certificate. They are not actually sure it's going to give them a job, but because that's what everybody does, and because they're scared to. It's crazy for real. Like, it's very, very scary. A lot of people in this country are so traumatized. A lot of people in this country, their whole life is rooted in fear, and that is why they would continue to support a government that are oppressors, because either they support them or they join the government that are oppressors, or they support them because they're afraid to challenge them. You raise your kids to be afraid of you, and then you tell them don't be afraid of any other person. I've seen a mother that was telling the children, now only me you go to fear, not the fear another person. But what you don't know is that you are the first authority that this child, or the first bigger person that this child has come in contact with, or will come in contact with. And your relationship, the relationship that you establish between you and that child, is what is going to be the atmosphere that the child is going to take into all that relationship that he or she have with people that are older than her, or like bigger than her, or like more financial capable than her or him. But you make your children to be afraid, to you blackmail them emotionally, you make your boys, they're not emotionally intelligent, you kill the emotions of your children, of the boys, when they're young. You tell them to be a man, you tell them not to cry, you train the girls to be more emotionally intelligent, but you don't give them you tell them they can't be leaders even though they're emotionally intelligent. I've heard a relative of mine telling her child or her children that, telling the second born, who is a boy, that he's the actual firstborn because he's a boy and he's going to take on the family name, but the girl who is the firstborn is, he's the fake firstborn, according to what she implied. But if you check, this girl is more responsible because they always train her as the first daughter now to be responsible, takes care of the family when the mother is not around. Is more like matured emotionally, logically, everything is like more coordinated. So we train kids like this. We train the guys to not be in touch with their feelings. We tell them to be a man, which means doing anything by any means, achieving your goals by all means. We train the boys to be more loose, more like free, and the girls to be more reserved, more conserved, but they are more emotionally mature, they're more emotionally intelligent than the boys because they were given more responsibility of taking care of kids. And I tell you, if you take care of kids, I think you'll be a better leader, especially the first girls. Like they took care of kids, organize the younger ones, cook the food when their friends are not around, and all of that. And this makes them to know how to lead people, how to work with people better. And then these kids go up and they go into they go into their careers or go into politics. The girls self are not even motivated to even go into politics because they've just always been like that. They weren't told, they weren't supported to lead their lives, or they weren't told that they can actually do things, in an open space. They're always reserved and conserved and all of that. And that's why we can see that when we talk about the government being bad, being corrupt, we can replace that government with saying men, because more than 90% of the people in government are men. Don't even argue that with me, just Google it. So do we see the pattern? Do we see the pattern? And who can agree with me that one of the problem, like the major problem of government, is that they lack emotional empathy? It's not how government or what government do, it's not what government does. That's not, it's how